Hey, it's travelgigolo, and this time we're camping at Syringa Sands in Limpopo. Syringa Sands is a private game farm with an exclusive campsite and a couple of other types of accommodation. So we're on our way to Syringa Sands in Limpopo. It's absolutely bucketing down with rain in Joburg, but hopefully when we get to our destination, it'll be a bit dry. Syringa Sands is about 270 kilometers by road from Johannesburg. It's mostly tar road, with the last 40 kilometers or so being dirt road. The dirt roads are in pretty good condition when we drove there, so you don't need a 4x4 or a vehicle with necessarily high clearance. You can easily get to the campsite, however to drive around within the game farm you do need a bit of clearance, so as an overall recommendation I do recommend that you have a vehicle at least with a bit of clearance. We arrived there in the late afternoon with a really splendid sight of the sun setting over the dam that's adjacent to the campsite. So as soon as we arrived, really got the feeling that this is a really special site. So Syringa Sands is located in the Limpopo province, not too far from Potable Water and also about 40 kilometers from Marakele National Park. The thatch lapa is really great because there's a set of tables and chairs in there, as well as a set of lounges for you to sit there and just look out and enjoy being in the shade in the heat of the day. Also, being in the Limpopo province, we can have significant thunderstorms, especially in the summer, so it's a really nice place to get some shelter. There's a boma with a central area for a nice bonfire, as well as a fixed braai stand, and there's a movable Weber braai stand as well, which is really nice to have. A space is provided for you to do all your washing up, so there's a cold water tap and the basics that you need to wash your cutlery and so on. The ablutions are really nice. There is a shower and a toilet, as well as a set of basins with a mirror behind them, so that's really cool. The bathroom has hot water provided by a gas system. There is no lighting on the site, but that is the one area where there is a solar light with a motion sensor, so when you go that night you at least have some lighting going to the bathroom. So probably my favorite thing about the site is the lake. There is a sizable dam. We're here in the rainy season. As you can see, it's quite grey and the dam's really full. So it's really nice. You can get out there. There's a rowing boat provided with a set of oars, so you can get on the boat, get out and do some fishing. Fishing wise, there's bass in the lake, which we have caught. We've also seen carp and barbel as well, and there probably is some kerper, although we haven't seen evidence of them. Sitting at the lake's also really nice because there is a little picnic table provided, and that's right under a weeping willow. That's a nice shady spot and you can chill there in the heat of the day. The birding here has been amazing. I must say this is one of those sites where you can just sit in the lapa or underneath the tree or wherever and just be still and the birds will come to you. So we've seen a plethora of bird species in the time that we've been here. Granted, it is the wet season. I don't know what it would be like in the dry season. So while we're at the site, we were visited by a short-snouted grass snake. These are mildly venomous snakes, but they should be respected as with all wildlife. We hardly get to see snakes because they're really shy, so this was pretty awesome to have a snake come right into the campsite. This is quite a large property. There are no dangerous wildlife. Of course, all wildlife is dangerous, but there are no big cats or carnivores. And so you can hike around the property, or walk rather. You can also drive. The roads are in really great condition to go around the property and do some wildlife viewing. Just take note, you need a vehicle with high clearance or with very good clearance at least. You don't necessarily need a 4x4, but of course a 4x4 would be an advantage. There is other accommodation on the property, so there are 2 other cottages that we know of. The nice thing is that this campsite is really far from anywhere else, and the 2 cottages themselves are quite well separated. So you do get the feeling of being alone out here. So besides walking and driving around game viewing on the site, you can go to Marakele National Park, which is just about 40 kilometers away, so it's a really short drive. In addition to that, there are a number of other animal and wildlife conservancies in the area. So what's not here? There is no electricity, so you've got to bring your own lighting. There is no potable water, so although there is hot and cold water, it's not drinking water safe necessarily. So you've got to bring your own drinking water or cooking water, whatever you want to call it. There's no cell phone signal here at the campsite, which I really like. It gives us a bit of peace and quiet. There's no shop on the site, and there is no fuel station. So the nearest places to do that is Potable Water, which is not very far away. It's about maybe half an hour, 45 minutes drive from here. So it's pretty easy to get to and get back from. You've got to supply your own wood and your own charcoal as well. That is not supplied on the site. How to get you? From the N1 highway, you've got to turn off towards Water. Then there are two different routes to get you. You can use the Google Maps route, which takes you on a dirt road through the little town of Alma and Rankin's Post. That is quite a nice drive. However, the road is not in great condition, or the dirt road rather, is not in great condition. This is the road that we chose to come here because it's on Google Maps and we just wanted to try it out. What the site recommends is a route through Water, which is a bit more tar road and a bit easier to get here. Whichever route you use, you do need a vehicle with decent clearance because the last bit of road getting here is gravel and it goes up a pass called Trichardt Pass. So it's not a very difficult pass at all. You don't need a 4x4 to do it, but it is advisable to have good clearance to get up that pass, and you also need clearance to drive on some of the roads on the site, even though these roads are generally in very good condition. So there's a lot of space to put up your tent, or tents if you're a group of people. There isn't a lot of shade for the tents themselves, but that doesn't really matter because you've got this nice thatch lapa. You do generally have the entire site to yourself. It's really quiet here, although people from the other cottages can come down to use the dam and to fish and so on. And also there's a couple of walking trails, and one of those walking trails does come past here. Otherwise, it's been really quiet. So what sort of campers is this place for? I think just note that there's no electricity and no signal and no potable water. So you've got to be fairly self-sufficient. A lot of the amenities that you require, like the bathroom and so on, are really nice. So from that point of view, it's not truly rustic camping, but it is a sort of place where you've got to be a bit self-sufficient in terms of your general supplies, your food, your electricity, etc. So would I recommend this site? Absolutely. I have no reservations. This is a really nice site. I must say the thatched boma is fantastic to have. The ablutions are really great, and I like that, and my significant other likes that in particular as well. So for those reasons, and for the lake and the fishing, etc., it's a really nice site. It's also really isolated, and that for me is really cool. So overall, definitely highly recommended. If you found this informative, then please hit the like button. Also subscribe, check out my other episodes on different campsites and places that we've been to, as well as our adventures. Until the next episode, go everywhere, see everything, have a great time.